Patrick Mahomes was born on September 17, 1995, in Tyler, Texas. He was the son of Pat Mahomes, a Major League Baseball pitcher, and from the very beginning, sports were in his blood. But unlike many who inherit talent, Patrick didn't just rely on it, he cultivated it. Growing up, he was surrounded by locker rooms, dugouts, and stadium lights. He watched his father compete at the highest level, and he learned early the demands, discipline, and sacrifices that came with being a professional athlete. Patrick wasn't just a football player. In fact, he wasn't even a quarterback first. He excelled in baseball and basketball, and many believed his future was on the mound. He could throw a baseball over 90 miles per hour. Scouts watched him with serious intent. But in high school at White House, it was clear there was something different about what he did on the football field. His arm was otherworldly. He threw no-look passes before it was trendy. He rolled out of the pocket and launched bombs across his body with the ease of a video game avatar. And though his mechanics were raw, his instincts were rare. He committed to Texas Tech, where he split time between football and baseball initially. But the gridiron called louder. Under coach Cliff Kingsbury, Mahomes found a system that let him be himself, unorthodox, creative, explosive. The Red Raiders didn't win every game, but Mahomes made sure they never left quietly. In 2016, he led the nation in passing yards. He set records. He put up video game numbers. But more than that, he turned heads. Coaches, scouts, and analysts began whispering that maybe, just maybe, this kid wasn't just a college star. Maybe he was something more. Still, there were doubts. His style was unconventional. His footwork was unpredictable. He played in a spread offense that many believed wouldn't translate to the pros. And in the 2017 NFL Draft, he wasn't the consensus #1 pick. But the Kansas City Chiefs, led by head coach Andy Reid and GM Brett Veach, saw the raw brilliance. They traded up to take Mahomes 10th overall. That move would change the direction of the franchise and the league. His rookie year was quiet. He sat behind veteran Alex Smith, learning, waiting, watching. But even in practice, whispers grew louder. Mahomes was making throws no one had seen before. He was making defenders look foolish on the scout team. Teammates knew. Coaches knew. The city didn't know it yet, but something special was brewing behind the scenes. Then came 2018. His first full year as a starter, Mahomes erupted. He threw for over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns, becoming just the third player in NFL history to do so. He won the MVP. He made no-look passes. He threw left-handed completions. He scrambled and launched bombs with the flick of a wrist. But more than the highlights, it was how he carried himself. He was young but calm, electric but humble. The team rallied around him. The league took notice. A star had arrived, and he was only getting started. In 2019, he came back to earth briefly. An ankle injury. A kneecap dislocation. Setbacks. But Mahomes didn't flinch. He returned late in the season and led the Chiefs into the playoffs. And there, he became something else entirely. Down 24-0 to the Texans? No problem. Down 10 points to the Titans in the AFC Championship? No panic. Then came Super Bowl 54. The Chiefs were down 20-10 to the 49ers with under 9 minutes left. And Mahomes, cool as ice, unleashed a comeback for the ages. He threw deep. He scrambled. He led. The Chiefs scored 21 unanswered points. For the first time in 50 years, Kansas City was crowned champion. And the Super Bowl MVP? Patrick Mahomes. He was 24 years old. And yet, it never seemed to overwhelm him. The endorsements came. The interviews. The attention. The $500 million contract, the largest in sports history. But Mahomes never stopped being Mahomes. He gave credit to his teammates. He stayed hungry. He kept working. He didn't rest on one ring, he set his sights on more. In 2020, he led the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. A rematch of sorts, this time against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the Chiefs' offensive line was ravaged by injuries. Mahomes ran for his life. He scrambled for nearly 500 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He made miraculous throws, off balance, parallel to the ground, sidearm rockets. And yet, the passes were dropped. The Chiefs lost. But nobody blamed Mahomes. They marveled at what he had done with so little. In defeat, he gained even more respect. The next season, defenses began adjusting. They played two safeties high. They dropped linebackers deeper into coverage. They tried to bottle up the deep ball, to smother the explosive magic that had defined Mahomes' early years. It was the league's collective response to a quarterback who seemed uncontainable. And for a brief moment, it worked. Patrick Mahomes struggled, not catastrophically, but noticeably. He threw more interceptions. The Chiefs' offense looked mortal. Pundits asked if the league had figured him out. But Mahomes didn't panic. He didn't lash out. He adapted. He went back to the film room. He studied. He listened. He internalized every defense, every adjustment. He began learning a new version of his own game. He realized that greatness wasn't just making impossible throws, it was making the right ones. The ones defenses dared him to make. Checkdowns, screens, methodical drives. He learned patience, the rarest virtue in a gunslinger. And once again, he led the Chiefs to victory, not with wild heroics every drive, but with surgical precision and a deeper understanding of what it meant to lead. In 2022, that evolution reached its peak. Mahomes reclaimed the NFL MVP award with another 5,000-yard season. He led the league in passing yards and touchdowns. His arm was still electric, but now there was a calm to it, an economy of motion, a balance between brilliance and control. The wild, unpredictable talent of his early years had matured into a fully realized weapon, no less dangerous, but far more refined. Then came the playoffs. In the divisional round, Mahomes suffered a high ankle sprain against the Jaguars. He limped. He grimaced. He could barely plant his foot. But he refused to come out of the game. Taped up and hurting, he stayed on the field. Not because of ego, but because his team needed him. He adjusted again, this time not to defenses but to pain. He altered his dropbacks. He got the ball out faster. And even on one leg, he led. In the AFC Championship game against the Bengals, a team that had become Kansas City's modern-day nemesis, Mahomes played through the injury with poise. He moved just enough to escape pressure. He hit throws only he could make. Late in the fourth quarter, with the score tied and the game in the balance, he scrambled for a crucial first down on a bum ankle, absorbing a late hit that set up the game-winning field goal. It was one of the grittiest performances of his career. Then came Super Bowl 57. Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. Chiefs versus Eagles. A matchup of explosive offenses and powerful narratives. The Eagles surged early. Hurts was electric. But Mahomes, limping into halftime, never flinched. In the locker room, he told his teammates one thing: we're not done. And when the second half began, he turned a close game into a personal masterpiece. He threw touchdowns. He led long, clock-eating drives. He controlled every snap like a conductor guiding a symphony. And on the game-winning drive, with the score tied and less than 2 minutes remaining, he scrambled, again, on his injured ankle for another huge gain. Moments later, the Chiefs kicked the winning field goal. Super Bowl champions. Again. And Mahomes? Another Super Bowl MVP. Another ring. Another comeback. Another chapter in a legacy that was no longer budding, it was booming. But Mahomes' greatness isn't just about statistics or awards. It's about presence, command, trust. His teammates don't just follow him, they believe in him. They know he'll find a way, whether it's 3 RD and 15 or down 10 in the fourth. His coaches give him freedom few quarterbacks ever earn, because he repays that trust with preparation and execution. He studies film with the intensity of a coordinator. He knows every wrinkle in every defense, every disguise, every tendency. He doesn't just play in the moment, he anticipates it. On the field, he improvises like a jazz musician, but underneath it all is a structure built on repetition, discipline, and relentless work. He practices throws others wouldn't even try. He refines what looks like chaos into a science. And yet, for all his ability, he never makes it about himself. He celebrates teammates. He deflects credit. He points upward after every touchdown, grounding his talent in gratitude. He is, in every sense, a leader, quietly charismatic, focused, and unshakably competitive. He's built different, not just in his body, but in his mind. He sees the field like a chessboard. He calculates on the fly. He makes the impossible look routine. He throws sidearm lasers, no-look bullets, and 60-yard bombs with flicks of his wrist. But he also checks it down when it's smart. He slides when it's safe. He sacrifices style for the sake of winning. And most of all, he plays with joy. Every smile, every celebration, every moment on the sideline with his teammates. It's real. You can feel it. For all the pressure, all the scrutiny, Mahomes still looks like a kid playing the game he loves. And that's not just inspiring, it's contagious. Off the field, he's become a force for good. Through his 15 and the Mahomes Foundation, he's invested in communities, education, and children's health. He's donated millions. He's shown up, not just for photo ops, but for people. He's used his platform not to sell products, but to speak on issues he believes in. Equality, justice, unity. He's not loud about it, but he's clear. And in today's world, that clarity matters. He's a husband, a father, a son. He speaks often of his family, of what they mean to him. He credits his parents, his wife Brittany, his coaches, and his faith for his success. And when you see him hold his daughter after a win, you understand. The trophies matter, but the legacy is deeper. And yet, he's still just getting started. Patrick Mahomes is barely past his 20s. He already has 2 league MVPs, 2 Super Bowl titles, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He's on pace to break records that seemed untouchable. But he never talks about that. He talks about chemistry with his receivers, about improving protection, about being better tomorrow than he was today. He is the face of a new NFL, not just faster, flashier, or more open, but more intelligent, more improvisational, more inspired. Young quarterbacks now grow up mimicking his off-platform throws, his touch passes, his calm under pressure. He's already changed the way the position is played. But he's also redefined what it means to lead. He doesn't need to yell to be heard. He doesn't need drama to be relevant. He leads by example, by execution, and by excellence. He's a model of how to be confident without being cocky, elite without being egotistical. In an era dominated by narratives, Patrick Mahomes writes his own. He doesn't need to chase headlines, they follow him. He doesn't campaign for legacy, he builds it, game by game, season by season. He chases not numbers, but moments. Not fame, but meaning. And in doing so, he's becoming something rare. He's becoming timeless. When the history of the NFL is written, not just in touchdowns or trophies, but in the players who transformed the game, one name will be etched in bold, again and again. Not just for what he did, but how he did it. With grace, with grit, with greatness. That name is Patrick Mahomes.